Cyberpunk 2077 never needed a comeback in the first place. I know about the lies, the deception, and the lack of strong leadership that CD Projekt Red displayed when they needed it most. However, I'm not here to tell you whether or not you should or shouldn't be mad at them. That's for you to decide, and I already did a video on that. I'm here because the core of what makes art meaningful, powerful, and everlasting was always at the heart of this game. The story it told, and the journey it takes you on was always better than the sum of its parts. There's a moment in one of the side stories where you travel back to a place where Johnny's body was buried, the oil fields outside the city. And it's just one of so many moments in this game that elevate it above anything else I've played. Seeing a man who killed and hurt those around him in the pursuit of greatness coming to the realization that no one cares anymore, that even with all his fame, fortune, and glory, no one came to his gravesite to mourn him upon his death. Early on in the story, you play as Johnny Silverhand in these badass moments of shooting, sex, and rock and roll. And that's what I think most of the detesters of this game took away from it. A fun but flawed experience that was a spectacle with nothing much underneath. But you see, it's the exact opposite. Only by playing through the entire hours-long side quests that span the whole game, and only by truly investing in these characters do those final payoffs like Johnny's do so well.
Most people I thought were my friends. They couldn't even stand to be in the same room with me. You're fucking closest to me by a long shot. There, 24/7.
It seems like everyone online likes to talk about how Red Dead Redemption 2 has better AI, how Grand Theft Auto has better police chases, how other games have better combat or deeper RPG systems. The soul of Cyberpunk was never that though. It was a journey into our souls, asking us some of the most important questions we'll ever face in our life. Not those standard ethereal ones about the meaning of life, religion, and our place in the universe, but the ones that really matter. Why do we want the money, the fame, the admiration? And why aren't we more focused on the things that actually matter? You know, when I finished Prey, I was in awe of how much I loved that game. And when I finished the original Mass Effect trilogy, I was sad that the journey was finally over, after being such a huge part of my life for almost half a decade. But when I finished Cyberpunk 2077, I truly had changed. A game about becoming the best in all of Night City, and sacrificing everything and everyone around you to do so. That somehow ended up teaching us the most important lesson of all. That none of that matters in comparison to the ones we love. Family, friends, and those we hold close. So many people will never give Cyberpunk 2077 a chance because of what others online told them to believe, and many others won't like the game for a variety of reasons. But I promise you, there's a reason that so many people love this game too. If you put in the time and play all of the main and side quests, and truly explore and ask questions of these characters you meet, you will be met with some of the best and most impactful emotional beats I've ever felt in a video game. Like Panam making a toast to Jackie, or Judy opening up about her horrific past, slowly unraveling the soul behind a ruthless terrorist psyche, or listening to Carrie play his new song on a boat as you slowly drift through the waves. It's these slower and more poignant capstones in Cyberpunk that make the game so special, not the graphics, spectacle, or propensity of bugs. This game was dragged through the mud, and in a lot of ways I get it. It was well deserved and taught an important lesson to the entire industry. But because of the rampant hate, so many people can't look past their preconceived notions and appreciate what the game has always done well. And it's tough too, because in my opinion, I love this game. I think the story and meaning behind it is magical. I love the gameplay, how you can sneak, hack, or slow motion shotgun and katana people's heads apart into a bloody mess. I love the amazing world and architecture, and I just love more than anything how it made me feel, and how it made me reconsider my own life. How it teaches us to focus on the important things in our life, by showing us firsthand how it would feel if we did or didn't. Like watching Johnny at the oil fields realize all the mistakes he made in treating others badly. or seeing how powerful a family bond the Aldecaldos have, and how much more meaningful working with them is than any of the lifeless corpse in the city. When people think of Cyberpunk, they think of the bugs, lies, deception, and a game that promised so much, yet fulfilled so little. But when I think of Cyberpunk, I think too of the lies, of the broken promises, but even more, I think about how I originally went into this game excited to play a next-gen sci-fi experience that would just be a lot of fun. But I came out on the other end genuinely affected by these characters, their stories, watching Judy cry about losing everyone she loved, watching Johnny become a man of character after finally finding his first real friend, V. And I realized that this game is so much more than the sum of its parts. If all you want to do is play a fun RPG or shooter, there's other games out there that focus more on this and are better. If you're expecting a GTA clone, wait for the next installment in the series instead. But if you want something more meaningful, more powerful, and more everlasting than any of that bullshit, ignore the hate you've seen for this game. Because I truly believe Cyberpunk perfectly tells the most important story and lesson we can all learn. You know, there's an ending to this game that most people haven't seen, where V can decide rather than to storm the gates of Arasaka with friends, family, or alone, rather, V can decide to end it all right there. And if you choose this ending, the game doesn't back down. It ends, just like it says, right there, without any epilogue to be seen whatsoever. But what you do get is those little video messages at the end. And one by one, piece by piece, each and every character who you have grown to love, or who has grown to love you, cries, screams, and detests you in a passionate rage. Seeing the true emotional costs that we can have on others, seeing how important you are to everyone around you, and realizing that none of those cool missions about making money and becoming famous ever fucking mattered in the end. Because in the end, all you have, in every ending of Cyberpunk, is the people you held closest. It was never about the police chases or the bumbling AI. It was never about having the best graphics of all time or how alive the city actually felt. These are things that are perfectly fine to be mad about. I just wish more people would realize just how much they're missing out on, too. I've played games that are more fun, that have less bugs, and whose worlds feel much more alive. But I've never played a game that affected me quite like this one. That's why Cyberpunk 2077 is, and has always been, an amazing game.